crucial was that run Chaz got on the second half for you?
It was, and again, I told the team coming in that you could bet that South Carolina, Lamont does a great job, and I told him before the game how much admiration I have for him, just based on when you go through losing some key guys with injuries and being so close so early in the semester, the season, the early season, losing some tough games at home, but the way his guys just kept fighting. We showed our team a lot of clips about them all throughout the year and how hard they kept playing and getting better. And we knew, one, we wanted to really try to, and they play really complimentary basketball where they put you in long possessions on both offense and defense. They make it a possession game, and they've been so good inside this year in their wins. We really fought hard there. I thought by being so gap heavy and trying to take away the lane, I'm sure I think the first half they shot maybe 14 threes or something. That's not what they probably prefer to do, but we knew they'd make some of those at some point, and but we still bogged down a little bit on offense. But it was the kind of game I thought. But if we make our free throws, it gives us a chance to get away from them a little bit, and we didn't, and that's part of it. But I told our guys, you can almost understand that this is really the start of postseason play. The kind of games you're going to be in, they're going to be real grind-type games, and it's a great opponent for us to play against because of how they play, and we're going to see some different things now. We tonight saw someone that really plays a different style than a lot of teams in the league, and we knew it'd be hard, and it was.
Rob, Jack, or Grant?
Coach, just the emotions of the day. I mean, I know you're not done with this team yet. Seeing Zakai's by, for the last time on this court, what was that like for you?
Well, one, I really can't thank our fan base, Vol Nation, for staying after the game. This is something, to be quite honest, I've always kind of wanted to do, because when you do it before the game, it kind of throws everything out of rhythm. And again, it's emotional. It's an emotional time for those guys. I mean, when you have poured every fiber of your being into this program the way Zakai and Jemiah have done that, and then you think about Jordan the last 2 years coming in, and these other days are modern day transfer portal and coming in a year and buying in the way this group did, is special. But it is tough because you want them to have their best day ever. You hope it's like that, but it really pales on the court to what they have done for this program since they've been here. Both Jemiah and Zakai especially. I mean, yesterday Jemiah Meshack won the Torchbearer Award, which was a great thing. Chancellor Plowman came over and had a great celebration in the locker room before the game. As you know, it's the highest award a student can get here. And it started talking about all the things he has done off the court, along with, Zakai. Those guys they came in and, I think Jemiah said it yesterday, but Zakai would have said the same thing. Their biggest thing was they wanted to come here and make their family proud. They wanted to make Ball Nation proud, and they did that. And watching how far they have both come, it is emotional. And again, because I know how hard I've been on both of them from a coaching standpoint, but I think they understand it's out of my love and respect for them, and knowing that what they're going after is a hard thing to get to. But our goal was to make sure that when it's all said and done here, they know how much we cared about them, loved them, and hope that they know that we didn't leave anything in our tank, that we wanted to pour it all out to them. Those two guys, certainly over 4 years, have lived up to our motto, it's not about me. Enon, it's not about me, as well as any two players that have ever come through the program.
Coach, early in the second half, you're trailing 39-40. You call a timeout. Out of that timeout, you come up with a lineup of Gainey, Lanier, and Meshack, Phillips, and Milicic. This lineup goes on a 9-2 run. Your team never really looks back. What do you see from that lineup, and do you think this was the turning point in the game?
Well, I mean, we were searching for a couple different things there. Obviously, we knew that we had a game plan, really, and to be tight in those gaps, and it took a little bit of our aggression, the way we normally extend and play out there. But with that group, we said we're going to get aggressive. We need to continue to run. We need to, obviously it's a good offensive lineup, and I thought we executed well at that point in time. And but it was obviously a pivotal part of the game to try to get some separation. They're a hard team to separate, and again, we had some chances earlier, We'd made some key free throws at the time, but that was an important stretch for us, obviously.
What's it say about this team to finish in the top 4 of the league when the league is what it is right now? And how do you guys kind of view the SEC tournament next year?
Well, again, I think it speaks volumes. I mean, we go back, I heard Greg Polinsky say last night, we lost 3 road games by combined 5 points, and that's how final line winning and losing is. And we did that early. It put us in a tough position. Our goal, like every team that starts out, is to try to win the regular season championship. Now you go to the tournament, it's a whole different, I mean, you've gone through a 2.5-month grind of the regular season. Now you're going to maybe try to redo it all in a weekend. And so it's tough, but, and everybody talks about, do you go put everything into it this time of year? You got to put everything into it every single game you play. I don't care what anybody thinks, and you can look at whatever. I mean, I've never coached a team that didn't going forward, didn't want to win that game. And but right now, there's a lot of teams fighting for their lives to try to get to the NCAA tournament. We're fighting to get better, and that's what's on our agenda. That we have got to continue to grow, and otherwise, right now we've got 2 games left. We don't get better, and so right now it's up to us as a program to see how long of a run in terms of games that we want to make here.
Rick, the crowd obviously showed Grant Hurst a lot of respect at the end of that game. He transferred here and made it clear he wants to coach and loves this staff and follows y'all. How ready do you think he is to kind of embark on that? And you've been down that road. What's kind of the next step for him as he makes this transition here in a few weeks?
He's a special guy, and I'm not saying this in one way or the other, but he reminds me of some of the young players I've been around who've gone on to be very successful in coaching. He's involved in every game. You'll hear him talking during the timeout. His teammates have such great respect for him, and he's been a big part. A great basketball mind. He really is. He sees the game in a really good way. He's been able to talk to our team times when I get really upset with him, and he's got a calming way to go over and make sure that they understand. Listen to what he said as opposed to maybe the delivery, and he's great at that. But he's going to be a terrific coach because he's a great people person. He loves the Lord, which I think is so important. He's well grounded. He's going to be a good one. There's no doubt he's going to be a good one.
Sorry, Coach. Ben, Reese, Mike.
Rick, given how physical the SEC is this year and the quick turnaround from the SEC tournament to the NCAA tournament, how critical do you think it is that you all did secure a 2-round bye to where you at most are playing 3 games instead of 4 or 5?
Well, we know that's important right now because we feel like every team knows Tom Boyd that he's banged up a little bit, and everybody's got some bang-ups with their team, and we've got that we have dealt with like everybody all year, and just 1 or 2 days make a huge difference in terms of just getting some guys a little bit of rest, and some of it won't get better totally until the season's over with, but a day or 2 here does make a difference.
Coach Sakai gave you a massive bear hug. What was going through your head when he's lifting you up off the ground?
That I should be picking him up, Sakai's special. I think about him. I go back to his first year here when he came in, and I remember we were in the Sweet 16 game. I think we had he and Kennedy and Santi on the floor even at that point in time in the game. But I'll most remember, he had an incredible freshman year and hadn't had a bad game all year, and he played well. And I've never seen him show any emotion whatsoever, ever. And we were at Georgia, and that was a day or so after. Remember, his house caught on fire in New York, and when his mom walked into the game, he lost it and played his first bad game I ever saw him play. But when I've talked about in front of his teammates, if you really know his background and where he is, you can't help but love him in more ways than you can imagine because of what he has been able to do for his family, and that's where the NIL has been a wonderful thing because he has done so much to make it easier and better for his family, and it's just going to be different because he's been a guy that every day in practice you know, I knew what he was gonna do for us, and Jemiah. That's gonna be something that coaches don't want to coach effort. You'd like to think that every guy comes out there with max effort, but the fact is they don't. But we have two of them that pretty much did that for 4 years. And again, I can say that this past year, Jordan took it to that level. I wish that, that Igor and D. Stone and Chaz, we could have had just one more year with them because they're such great kids, but it's just a big jump from where they were to here. But there's no doubt with a little more time, they would have fallen right into that group as well.
Rick, with the way that Cade played today, how important was it to get a game from him like that going into the postseason?
Well, it's huge because he knows that I wasn't real happy with his performance at Ole Miss. I didn't think he was locked in a number of different areas, and he knows how I felt. I let him know during the game, at halftime, after the game, all of it. And he came back and got focused, and I thought his minutes were key today. I thought they were key minutes. Obviously he missed some free throws, but those were all big plays, and his defense, and we need him. And he delivered for us today.
Saw two more hands up, Paige and Caleb, and that's it.
I guess guys don't always show their emotions, but when you see their moms crying as they're coming down the line, how much does that reflect how much those players have poured into this program?
Well, again, I've been so blessed, and I'm so thankful. Obviously, when you get to your last home game, and I was spending some quiet time with the Word today, and thinking about how blessed I am and how thankful I should be for just having the opportunity where God's put me to spend time in this game, but also with these players. And even a better benefit is getting to know their families. And if you all knew the loyalty that Jemiah's family have given to me and our staff, and Zakai's, obviously the Gainies didn't have a choice, you know, but the fact is, those two families have been as loyal to us as any two families I've ever been around. I mean, again, in a era when it's easy to say, hey, we're gonna go try something else, they never wavered with that. They wanted to be here. And I can't tell you again how proud we are as a program that Jemiah Meshack got the Torchbearer Award. That's an incredible accomplishment for anybody, and for him to come from our program and represent us. And I mentioned out there, one of the greatest compliments that I've gotten this year was we were leaving Postseason Arena, and the last thing I say to Mary Carter when I leave the building, have we taken care of the locker room? Because we have prided ourselves for making the way we walk into a locker room better. And when I was walking out, I said it to Mary Carter, and I heard the person that was waiting to go in, he said, Coach, you guys always leave it great. And no one's ever said that to me. And it goes back to our support staff, our managers, everyone on the program, that we want to represent the University of Tennessee in a first-class way. But I think that comment speaks highly of our program and the support people that no one knows about. But again, going back to Jemiah and Z, man, it is emotional. You know, I got emotional with them because, again, I know how hard I've been on them. And I know there's days they walked out of this building probably not wanting to see me again. But they never showed that side. But I know how they had to feel because I was tough on them. But I love them. And I also know this, when they went back and they called their parents had my back too, which I appreciate.
Last one from Caleb.
How tough this league has been on the road and at home. What do you look forward to about getting to a neutral site next week at the SEC tournament?
Well, I hope it's not a neutral site. You know, I'm hoping Nashville's all sea of volunteers when we're there. And again, I want to thank our fan base for today. I didn't know how this would turn out going at the end of the game. And for our fan base to show their support here again, it's just really unbelievable. But I shouldn't be surprised because we've got the best fan base in the country. But again, you get to tournament play, you hope that, again, we expect our fans to be with us, and we want to play, and certainly we don't want to disappoint.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.